So this is our first YouTube video, and we are currently in Ottawa, Ontario, and we are getting ready to go on a cross Ontario and Manitoba kind of speaking and arts filmmaking tour called Transmisssion Tour, and I'm Behc Jax-Lynx.
And I'm Kaeden Seburn.
And we are two Ottawa-based people who are working on a project that is trying to connect with individuals, communities, health and social services, and people who are in rural communities across Ontario. I'm originally from Stonewall, Manitoba, and we are driving from Ottawa, camping at private and national park campgrounds through the fall, and heading to Stonewall, Manitoba, which is my hometown, and I'm shooting a film as we go across called Threading. So Kaeden, what's going to happen when we get to these little towns?
So we're going to be stopping in different towns along the way between here and Stonewall, and then on the way back, and giving workshops for health and social service providers about professional allyship and supporting transgender diverse kids and youth.
Right, and so those workshops are happening in the afternoons from 1 until 4, and there is a registration fee, $50, but then in the evening we are having open sessions of no cost to anyone within the LGBT communities, families, friends who would like to just sort of hang out with us. I'll be sort of working on some art cards and making a little bit of a silent film, but really it's an opportunity for people in the communities and areas to connect with us. So where are we going on the tour?
So our first stop is Timmins on September 17th, and then we're going to be in Wawa, Marathon, Stonewall, and Dryden, and then North Bay later in October.
That's right. And so without kind of like running off all the places that we're going to, people can find out information.
So you can look on my website, kaedenseburn.com/tour, and you can also follow us at Transmisssion Tour on Facebook and Instagram and here on YouTube.
Okay, cool. So kind of why we're doing this, or why I brought Kaeden, I asked Kaeden in June to kind of do this, is I've been giving workshops for a long time and have a few different views of the way that they kind of work, and really I think it's essentially for me about connecting with people in our communities. But I'm always wondering, like, so me who grew up rural Manitoba and having not so much of a connection back there, but I'm always drawn and have been living in a lot of the different small towns around Ontario. One is Pakenham, the other is Brockville, and then little sites in between, and really wanting to connect back as a trans person, being in the country, being in the small towns, but me who I'm 41 now, what does that look like? You know, things are so different than when I was growing up in my experience. And you have connections with rural communities as well.
Yeah, so I used to live near Oxford Mills, which is a small town near Ottawa, and we moved into Ottawa when I was a kid. So when I came out as trans, I was already living here, but I have friends who still live in those areas who are also trans and who are around my age, and like their experiences in those spaces are so different than my experience in Ottawa. So I'm really interested in being able to connect with people in more spaces around Ontario, and trying to see what ways we can connect with them and support the work that they're doing.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is that in the cities we have this idea, or people, that the cities have it all together, that the cities, you know how to do things, and everything is great for trans or gender diverse individuals, and absolutely yes, like things are better, but still there's this concept and this idea that people are if you're trans or gender diverse, that's the only narrative that you have. And within rural communities, what I found so much is that it really echoes in response to the fact that we are so many different things. Like, I'm a gardener, I'm an artist, I'm an uncle, I have family in different capacities. I love to be outdoors, I love to camp, I love to go fishing. I have many different projects that I'm interested. I'm so many more things than just being a trans person. And I have so many aspects and connections in communities and interests that are beyond just one identity and one way of looking at what things are. One of the things that we are going to be taking a look at and having conversations about is, like, as we go across, we're going to be shooting a bit of film as we travel to kind of capture the conversations that Kaeden and I have along the way on a regular basis, as well as being able to connect with other people if they want to share or have conversations too. So we'll be shooting like we are right now in a park, We will be, at different places, and to be able to have, what that looks like. Not a ton of people are signed up for the workshops, and we have been having a lot of conversations about, do we cancel the trip? Do we do this? Do we not do this? Like you've been listening to me talk, like is a lot. I'm wrestling with the concept of like, is this needed? Are people interested in having these conversations in rural communities? Is it the right timing? We've emailed every single school board, both like in the areas that we are in and in the districts. We've emailed churches. We have emailed social service providers. We've learned how to do faxing, online faxing. And so the posters and the information is out there. But we're kind of at the point that even if we have 1 or 2 or 5 people per workshop, that we may still be going. So, and to do that and to just see, what happens. And at least for me, being able to travel across Ontario to Manitoba, to the town that I, grew up. I grew up outside of the town between a dirt road and a field and a rock. And so for me to sort of document what that process is like and feels like. And it's also during the time of the anniversary of my mom's death. So we'll be taking a look at some of those things too. Again, as trans individuals and diverse individuals, we have so many things that happen in our lives and experiences that are not just, one way and one way of being.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts about the tour, things that you're thinking about? Why are you doing this? Why did you want to join?
I think I'm really interested in, I've also given a lot of workshops in Ottawa and for teachers and service providers and people in urban areas and mostly in Ottawa. And I'm really interested in connecting with people in rural spaces across the province and getting to connect with like other people that might be doing similar work to what we're doing, but in these other spaces and hearing about their experiences and sharing our experiences, and just being able to connect with different people.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Maybe I'll just talk a little about Threading,
Yeah.
project, and then we can close up. So Threading is the title of a film that I'm making, and it's so I've done filmmaking through art school, but have, left it, haven't really touched it for about 10 years. And so coming back to those things, the film Threading, the concept of the idea is that it's a short silent film where I'm capturing people writing down on very tiny cards messages to other communities. And so the thought is that people in Timmins could write messages to Wawa, and Wawa could write messages to Marathon, and Marathon could write messages to Stonewall, and Stonewall could write messages to Dryden, and Dryden can write messages to North Bay, that we have this sort of like, connection. And when those messages are being written, I'm videoing them and then can project them really big onto trees and fields and forests, as well as onto the urban spaces, which is like city walls, so that we can know that our words and our connections and our community is not just on isolation on social media or on the internet, but we can also see ourselves out there, that visual kind of connection, and as well as being able to say things to each other in support that isn't just about being trans identified. It could be like, hey, have a really great day at work, something very sweet, but could also be sort of complex in a way. So maybe we should close up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
So this is we're going to be doing ongoing 10-minute YouTube videos, and again, how do you find us?
Yeah, so my website is kaedenseburn.com/tour, and you can follow us at Transmisssion Tour on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll put all the links in the description as well.
Great, super. Oh, we didn't say our pronouns. Oh. My pronouns are they, them, theirs, he, him, his.
Yeah, and I use they, them, or he pronouns as well.
Okay.